The coronavirus has affected everyone's life and finances. The recession is imminent. Millions of people are filing for unemployment. Good days did not last long, so the bad days will not last forever as well. Let us learn 7 hard money lessons in personal finance which my friend and guide, Nicolas Cole, has taught in a highly insightful writing, while sharing his personal journey to financial success and stability. This financial discipline in our personal finances will enable us to face any future recession with greater peace of mind. I am your friendly guide, Mr. Smart, in your journey to live a smart and intentional life. Subscribe to my YouTube channel or visit the website mrsmart.org to learn more. You can also join me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram through the links in the description. Now, let us see what Nicolas Cole has to share with us. I was only 18 years old when the markets crashed in 2008. I hadn't yet stepped into the real world. I didn't have a full-time job or a working relationship with money. I truly didn't have context or a larger understanding of what a crash meant and how it was impacting people's lives. Looking back, of course, it makes sense why my parents were overly stressed during my senior year of high school. I can at least imagine what they must have been feeling, but I would have been naive to think I truly knew what that sort of burden felt like myself. At 29 years old, I am now experiencing my first global recession. Millions of people are filing for unemployment. Businesses are closing. Startups and companies are laying people off. The world is grinding to a halt. When you're out of school and you start working your first job, and even as you begin to make strides in your career, it can be very easy to think that what's currently happening will happen this way forever. You start making good money and think, this is what I'll be earning for the rest of my life. Older, wiser, more experienced people than me know this is far from the truth. While this is certainly my first recession, my first global pandemic, my first time being an adult in the working world, and individually impacted by what's going on, I am reminding myself that life ebbs and flows. The Great Depression did not last forever. The 2008 mortgage crisis did not last forever. Markets go up, markets go down. Opportunity will boom, and opportunity will slow. But it's those who remain calm and optimize for these waves of change who end up being successful over the long term. Here are 7 things I encourage everyone to keep at the forefront of their minds when it comes to personal finances during, throughout, and after the coronavirus pandemic. Number 1, it's not about how much you make. It's about how much you save. My dad used to say this all the time growing up. But again, this is a lesson you have to feel and encounter in your own life to truly understand. I know plenty of people who make $250,000 per year and save $5,000 per year. They live terrific lives, but they also put themselves at an unnecessary amount of risk. Conversely, I know people who make $80,000 a year and save $20,000 per year. They live modestly, but they set themselves up for success in the long term. I strongly encourage you to live like the latter. As your income scales, so should the amount you put away for safekeeping. Number 2, never underestimate cash on hand. When I first started making a little bit of money, I put everything I had into stocks. I wanted to start seeing my savings compound on themselves. This was great in theory, right up until the moment I decided to leave my 9-to-5 job and become an entrepreneur. Suddenly, having money in stocks, although liquid, felt unnecessarily risky. If the markets tanked tomorrow, that would severely affect my safety net. We're witnessing the same thing happening in the markets today. Part of saving money means having a balance between cash you invest and cash you keep on hand. A good rule of thumb a mentor of mine gave me was to always have at least 3 months of living expenses readily available. Personally, I prefer 6 to 12 months. Number 3. Live by the 50-25-25 model. Since the moment I graduated college, and for context, I was making slightly above minimum wage, I taxed all of my side hustle income at the highest tax bracket, 50%. The reason I do this is twofold. First, I want to begin cultivating the mentality that one day I would end up in the highest tax bracket. And second, I never wanted to end a year and realize I owe more money than I had set aside. I wanted to pay myself a bonus at the end of the year, not needing to withdraw even more money to make up for my math error. In the same way, I tax all of my side hustle income at nearly 50%, meaning I put 50% of everything I make away in an account to pay taxes at the end of the year. I also try to save at least 25% of the remaining 50%. So that means for every $100 I make, I put $50 away for taxes, $25 into savings, and leave $25 to use as income I can spend on living expenses, travel, restaurants, etc. The reason I love this model is because it keeps all my primary variables constant, taxes and savings. And if I ever want to spend more or upgrade my lifestyle, then I need to find ways to make more money overall, instead of taking money out of taxes or savings. Number 4, have a plan for the worst case scenario, like what we're experiencing right now. One of the biggest reasons I'm so adamant about saving money is to be able to navigate another recession. Every 20-something, regardless of how much you make, I was saving $20 per month back when I first graduated from college and was making just about minimum wage. You should work to save and build a financial foundation. It's one of those things that seems impossible or even insignificant when you aren't making very much. But you have to continually remind yourself that small steps really do add up. $50 will turn into $100. $100 will become $500. $500 will become $2,000. And before you know it, you'll have $5,000 in your savings account. The first few years of saving are always the hardest. But after about 3 years of cultivating a habit, and as soon as you get to see the first comma in your savings account, your entire mentality will change, and you'll realize the value of saving over the long term. Number 5, work to create multiple streams of revenue. Especially in today's world, where millennials struggle to find jobs, the internet is an easily accessible resource. It's imperative that you build multiple streams of revenue for yourself. For example, here are some of mine. I pay myself a salary out of my company, Digital Press. I published a book, Confessions of a Teenage Gamer, as well as a handful of smaller ebooks on my website. I have a paid monthly newsletter exclusively for writers. I publish work under Medium's paid program. Your goal should be to create 7 streams of revenue for yourself, so that if one declines, the others can keep the ship moving in the meantime, while you either repair what went wrong or create a new stream of revenue for yourself. Here's a bonus tip. Take all your streams of revenue, except your primary, that being your salary, and have them go directly into a savings investment account. This will force you to continue living within your means, while working to increase the amount you're able to save or invest. Number 6. Spend time around financially prudent people. This is a statement that should scale based on income level. Again, there are millionaires who spend every penny they make. There are other millionaires who save or invest a large portion of their income. You want to hang around the ones who live like the latter and not the former. The biggest reason this is so important is because, especially in your early 20s, you won't have very much extra income to save or invest, which means of what you do have, you want to put to good use. And if you hang around people who blow their money, chances are you will too. Instead, I encourage you to seek out people who are very responsible with money. For me, I sought out people I knew were successful and yet didn't live overly lavish lifestyles. Family, friends, people in my network, etc. I wanted to know how they treat their money so I could learn how to do the same. Number 7, don't ever bet it all. If you are ever faced with an opportunity for a financial upside that requires you to put it all on the line, do not accept it. When you're young, these kinds of decisions are fairly easy to recover from. Even if you were to bet it all and lose, you would still have years upon years to make it back and you'd be fine. But the reason I strongly discourage this way of operating is because it is the beginning of an even worse habit that can linger over time. You don't want to get used to betting it all. You want to get into the habit of betting what you're willing to lose without compromising your long-term financial position. My friends, how has the coronavirus outbreak impacted your financial life? How can you better prepare yourself financially to face any future recession or global pandemic? Proactively share your thoughts in the comments section and also read what others have to say. Believe me, that's the best way to learn. And yes, I need to remind you that this animation is based on the writing of Nicolas Cole, who is a writer for Inc. magazine and top writer on Quora. You must already know him if you have ever visited Quora. His writings have got more than 30 million views online, while his work has been published in Time, Forbes, Entrepreneur, and many more. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell button so that I can continue making such videos with love and care, especially for you. If you want to delve a little deeper into smart and intentional living, visit the website mrsmart.org or join us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All links are in the description for your convenience. Live long, smart living.
My fellows, you will lead a happier, satisfied, and successful life when you follow the principles and life hacks mentioned in this animation. But we all tend to forget. 1 week or 1 month down the road, we shall forget the principles and rules that today we vow to stick to and follow. However, Mr. Smart has a solution for you in one word: repetition. Watch this video time and again. You've watched it today. You may watch it in 1 month from now, and then 3 months from now, and so on. And every time you watch the video, make an active self-analysis to track your trajectory of self-improvement. You can even keep a personal diary to note your observations. Live long, smart living.